For those of you following the mushroom saga, they're getting huger. Look at the size of this. This is one day. This guy was that size yesterday. Here's the original one. And we've got more coming. Quite amazing. Oh, there's a shortage of energy. It's probably scientifically impossible for this guy to gain enough energy from the soil and or the surrounding area to actually create this much substance, this much physical substance. It's probably just like the bumblebee that, according to physics, can't fly because it's too heavy. Yet somehow with that fat body, you ever think of any fatter bodied insect than a bumblebee? He flies. Well, that mushroom's just proving it. There's no way he could have gained enough, quote, physical energy or physical material energy to create that. But it does. But there's a shortage of energy. We have to struggle and suffer. And you just need to have your one plastic grocery bag or one cloth grocery bag and live in your little apartments while you give all this carbon tax to the globalists. Oh no, Tobias. Going political about the fakery of global warming. Look, of course, we should have free energy and free magnetic motors and absolutely get off of the oil. Oil is the horrible pollutant, coal, etc. That is a symbol of our darkness, the black oil. And besides, we should leave her lubrication in her joints, the oil itself, which she has put there, where it is. Leave it where it is. No fracking, no fucking fracking Mother Earth, of course. But don't fall for the Al Gore scheme. He's a total globalist, elite family that's totally into creating a poverty-stricken mass population living in little New World Order, tiny apartments, keeping them mentally apart and in fear and terror of global apocalypse. That's not how the universe works. The way the universe, the Song of One, works is like that mushroom. It goes, I am expressing now laws of physics according to myopic hysterical scientism minds. Be damned. Doesn't even listen to them. But that's not the topic today. The topic is entity attachments. Basically, everyone on Earth has fallen energies. Unless you can turn your body back into light, unless you're able to operate like that mushroom and be able to alchemize energy out of nothing, which is what trees do and every green living thing, photosynthesis. That doesn't mean you know what it is. No biologist has any clue what photosynthesis is. No physicist has any clue what basic electricity is. You can describe it some, but from where it arises, we have no clue. It is mysterious. The miracles are all around us. How does two hydrogen and one oxygen atom combine together? How do they hold together? We don't know. The strong force, the weak force, the nuclear force, the gravity, we don't know. Those are all mental theories. We cannot, if we knew, we could recreate it. We can't. We can't create magnetism. We can harness it, describe it. We can't create electricity from nothing. The doctor can't create a heart. You can't create a seed that then grows into a tree. That's supernatural magic still to those who live in the dark, i.e. scientism followers. So, unless we have humility, arrogance and hubris saying we know is the sure sign of pride becometh before the fall, and we collapse our civilization yet again. We all have entity attachments. Unless you can do like the mushroom, the fungi, let's call them that. Instead of masters and avatars, we call them fungis. Fun women. I'm being silly. I'm actually going to be trimming the rosebush here in a minute. The one that Bentley's grazing next to. So true master avatars can turn their bodies back into light. Oh, that's so far out, Tobias. You've gone off into crazy land now. No, that's how it works. When you do ayahuasca ceremonies, you get a taste of it. You get a preview, a desperate measure by Mother Earth going, hey kids, wake up. Remember, you're made of light first. InnerBodyAwakening.com. I recommend it as the foundational technique that I use and Spirit showed me 15 years ago, 20 years ago by now probably. Learn to feel yourself as energy, as the light body, the etheric body. It's an ancient Shiva technique from the land of Mu, the motherland, the original teaching that still has survived. One of the oldest cultures that the motherland was before the giant Pacific land. Pangea was first, but once we developed cultures. So Shiva, when people fell from grace, Shiva, the king of yogis, if you will, he's a real being. He's not a myth, by the way. I've met him several times. Oh, that's crazy, Tobias. Right, go ahead. Stay in your shut down, myopic, little hysterical box where hysterical historians wringing their little cold, clammy hands. Boy, I'm being mean today against orthodox science, aren't I? My dad was a nuclear physicist. I saw that shit from the inside. Learned early how myopic they were. And so when we get stuck in our mentalities, we get an ersatz, we get a fake, we get an image. This happens everywhere, including in spiritual communities, the UFO community, any community. There's been this schism break, this fall from grace into mentality. We think description, ability to put words to it, language is no gauge of language is no gauge of real intelligence. Just because you can describe the dog's nose doesn't mean you have any clue at how sensitive his experience is. If you as a yogi can go into his being and experience through his nose, that's some realer know-ledge. Jump off the ledge of what you think you know into real inner standing instead of understanding. Understanding is you standing under the grace of a basic fungi, a basic mushroom that's growing from nothing. The miracles are all around us all the time. They're not miracles. They're supernatural, effervescent, unlimited, free energy all the time. You make 750 billion blood cells in your body in the next 24 hours. That's physically impossible, especially with a crappy normal diet nowadays. So we all have entity attachments. If you've been short of, in the way, the reason I use Judeo-Christian is because we are raised in the soup of the dominant paradigm of the military superpowers on the earth, whether it be Russia, now China's a little different, or America. We are raised inside the Judeo-Christian ethic. So we are marinated in it. So when Jesus says fallen short of the glory of God, meaning you're not able to effervesce the normal inner body energy light. That's why when Babaji appears to Yogananda, or when Yogananda resurrects his body, or thousands of others like St. Francis, St. Teresa, St. Anthony, I'm not a Catholic obviously, that's about the worst pedophile thing ever. But that doesn't preclude that there are real, quote, awakened beings that through their own sincere heart path can awaken in every tradition. You can be a Scientologist, a Catholic, a Mormon, a Buddhist, a yogi, and you can be completely fucked up, which most are. Completely stuck in mental garbage. Or you could have a break on through to the other side. Source, Mother, Father, is no respecter of personages, of your id entity, your identity. It is a respecter of the energy that the mushroom is exhibiting. The fact that the trees convert pure energy into green leaves and trunks of trees. That's a miracle. Oh, it's photosynthesis. We know all about it. No, you don't. You have no clue how it takes the light and creates material things. You can't convert light into material things like Krishna can, like Ramakrishna can, like Yogananda, Babaji, Lahari Mahashaya, Sri Yukteswar, Jesus, St. Anthony, Hilarion. There's thousands. Mother Mary, Mary Magdalene is that advanced at this point. Ayahuasca does it. Thousands of ceremonies right now. She's being an etheric. Pele, the goddess from Hawaii, can also has ascended in the sense that she can rematerialize her body and appear on the road to Hana, the road over the volcano, either as an auntie with gray hair or as a young maiden. This is being done by thousands of people. I've done it a few times, mostly unconsciously. My human consciousness has not been conscious when I've appeared elsewhere for people. A couple of times it has. I'm a baby. I'm struggling. I'm still trying. I'm still trying to come out of this prison matrix that we've created. So entities are part of this. These are our own energies in denial, you could say. But what I really wanted just to say about the entities, people don't know when they're possessed by these. Sometimes they are outside entities, demons if you will, psychological patterns that we're unaware of, unconscious patterns. Use Freudian or shamanistic language, it doesn't really matter. In an ayahuasca ceremony once, the shaman showed me, he said, notice it. Notice this energy is just pure color and had this certain color patterns to it. Now notice it as a form, and he's guiding me, and it had these ugly faces coming out of my friend Francis, these ugly frog melting demonic things, you would call it, you know, like tattoos on gang members in LA. I'm joking. Those, you know, and he said, which is real? And he said, it's up to you to decide. I decide they take many forms. When you get stuck in form, you get stuck in that information. And you think your information is correct, and you fight others who have different information. Don't be a cog walking in information. We are all little soldiers perfectly. Let's create a new salute that's equally horrible. We can't do the Hitler salute. That's evil because we're so terrified of it again. Yet we are so susceptible to it. Right? So unless you can walk on water, unless you can dissolve your body into light, and even if you can, you're not fully free of entities. The Emperor in Star Wars has magical powers. He can do some magic shit. He's on par with Yoda. But Yoda is of the loving path, of not wanting to own, control, subjugate, succubus, steal energy from other entities. The Emperor is. This is a very real story. So there's this giant battle on Earth. Because Earth is this is where it's happening right now. This is trying to awaken. And then the majority, 85% of the people, are still completely sheeple cattle, completely asleep. So most people are completely possessed robotically. You know that. You hit their hot button, they just go into a predictable program. So this battle will continue as things get revealed, as the volume gets turned up to Spinal Tap 11 eventually. Right now we're probably about 5.5. It's going to continue to get turned up. All things shall be shown up in the light. That's what Jesus is trying to say. You turn the light on in the bathroom, the roaches, or the kitchen, the roaches and the rats head for the cover. There's been lots of roaches and rats hiding in human beings, whether it's pedophile scandals or just your own nastiness or your own guilt complexes or messiah complexes or any program that prevents you from being like a little child, transparent and honest. Any of that, any obfuscation, occult simply means occluded, hidden. All occult crapola is going to be shown up in the light. Now this doesn't mean you're doing some magic weird ritual with a hood and candles and invoking Satan necessarily, occult. Occult is grandma never living her authentic life, but always being a servile, oh, can I help you? I baked you a pie. That is just as demonic because grandma never got to live her life. She never got to truly express, push out what she was. Was she a singer? A dancer? I'm a dancer. Like that mushroom over there is going, I'm fucking expressing myself. And one day I'm going from this to 12 inches across. If humans aren't expressing their true selves, you are part of the occult shutdown, enabling the planet to go into dead space, a total prison planet. Now there are some active beings that feed off of that, often hiding in frocks and government positions and pulpits where they pulp their shit, the pablum that the professor or pastor fixated on the past, the pastor. You ever notice that? Let's talk about Abraham and the Old Testament. He's a pastor. Where's the Now Testament? Eckhart Tolle, a little bit tiny voice, the Now what about now? Full conscious breath in the now. The Church of what's happening now with humor. Thank you, George Carlin. Amazing he survived, to be honest. But he's a wise old wizard, as are the head guys in Led Zeppelin and many other artists. You can tell who's a real old wise wizard. You can't fucking take him down with drugs and weird shit. Doesn't work. They're too wise. They're too strong. Others can't withstand that. Kurt Cobain, bless his heart. He's a little boy. There's no way he could withstand that lightning rod of energy coming into his solar plexus and the stomach problems. All this can be revealed to you if you be still and start going inward. Innerbodyawakening.com. Ancient Shiva technique, nothing new under the sun. I'm not the inventor of it. I'm a transcriber, sharer of it in a way that it really affects people when they listen to that recording. And after you do it 10 or 12 times, it's yours for life. Then you move on to the alchemyenergyprocess.com and you start realizing, with realize again, I am a wizard. Good wizard, Harry Potter style. Bring the innocence, and then you move on to theheartenergy.com and realize I want love. This is why Krishna is farther ahead. Oh, I shouldn't say this, I'll get in trouble, than Shiva. Or Jesus is farther ahead than Solomon. Solomon knows how to make the statues talk and the stones float and build a temple and do all the magic ritual and the grimoires and the lesser key and greater key of Solomon and talking to entities that he employs. But Jesus is more powerful because he's more simple. Why? Because of the Christ child. Your inner playful child is your, quote, freedom, your ticket out of here, your ticket into eternity, your salvation. All your highfalutin knowledge is... Would you go to a movie if all it was a professor talking about these mathematical formulas of the amplituhedron and how this has now been proven to be one of the building blocks of life? The original Merkaba actually has been reduced into the tetrahedral shape. But we are obfuscating it for you in case you start realizing this stuff is really simple, and in that case we would be out of a job. So that's not good. Like when they caught the Pope. The Pope caught the allopathic medical system. All the medicine does is make up a Latin word to intimidate you. No different than those lawyers with all those books behind you. See all those books right here? So you don't know all that shit. I don't either. I never read it. I just spent $35,000 buying that, and I can make payments on it. That's what a lawyer does. That's what all those books are behind a lawyer. But it obfuscates and intimidates you. Same with doctors. The Pope had a bad hip, the Polish Pope, a few popes ago. And when they, super doctors of the Catholic world, examined the Pope, said, well, malus occipitus, forget the last term. And he goes, malus occipitus means, mal means bad. Occipitus, the thing, the hip. You just telling me I have a bad hip. They go, yeah, I know. The doctors are like, oops, you busted us. We just make up Latin words to intimidate the shit out of people. Yeah. And scare them and get whole countries to go bankrupt with Medicare. That's the deeper story. The largest welfare system ever is, of course, but the people get the government they deserve. I'm not blaming doctors. I'm blaming us, the people. Benjamin Franklin, we get the government we deserve. So, if you want to get clean and start having your entities leave you, because they're very draining, these Klingons, these succubuses, these entities that feed on you. It's basically like maggots or leeches that are sucking off your energy, particularly around your spinal column. That's why I've been dealing with this thing at my atlas bone, which is, by the way, anyway, in the Egyptian pantheon, it is where the pyramid is actually located. It's the initiation chambers, so that was interesting information for me. All right, I'm not on speed. This is my normal morning state, apparently. Full conscious breath. Moment of intention. You vote with your consciousness. Each day, do some moments of intention. If you're just flotsam and jetsam, part of the collective matrix, plugged in and TVs telling you what to think, you're part of the problem. But if you have a conscious intention, I want free energy. I want the revelation. I want all things to be shown up in the light. I want the truth to come out, whatever it is. Once you're not attached to your particular truth, you're willing and brave enough to go, whatever the truth is. Let things surface. Let more be revealed. Free energy, magnetic motors. I don't want cars killing millions of animals anymore. I don't like it. Let humans wake up. My intentions. What are yours? Moments of intention. Full conscious breath. Relax. At the end of the out-breath, a moment of, as Patanjali says, the disjoining of the in and out breath. There's a moment of eternity there, just a relaxed moment. Drop your pebble into the pond. I don't know what my intentions are quite clearly, Source, Father, Mother, God, but whatever they are, I drop them into the pond of consciousness, and I want that for Earth. I want my highest intentions for Earth. Free energy. Get rid of sex slave trafficking. Just a few of us, the salt of the earth, just a small yogurt starter of humans that decide this is what they want. And we will have it. Just take a few times during the day, before you eat your food, sitting with your friend at lunch and they're going on and on about some shit, human drama. Be a good listener and just take a full conscious breath and go inside yourself. Hold some space. Do it while driving, on the train. Do it at work frequently. Drop your pebble of intention into the pond, except it's a 6-7 dimensional pond, not just a flat surface. Let the waves spread and do their thing. Drop it like a mustard seed and have the faith. Let it go. Set it and forget it. St. Ron Popeil. I love you guys. More later.